Okay, great job. Now we're on to step 3, tie downs and pass. First pass, I like to call it. Just making sure that my G pen is where I want it to be at. Setting up line weights. Zooming in, zooming out. And the way I always feel approaching cells or animation, do the hardest thing first. So sometimes you may see me bounce around. I'm approaching the things that I struggle with. So I say, hey, let me do the eyes. Eyes are usually typically hard for me to do. So I approach the eyes first. Following my backup blue line that I left in the back, I'm able to contrast the blocking or the rough stage so that I can ink over it with my G pen black. Typically, I leave my G pen around 5 or 4. Getting the details that I want. Taking a look. Always got to zoom in and zoom out. Excuse me. And attention detail is always good. Now remember, this is a first pass tie down, so we're not really cleaning it up yet. So I'm looking just for quick, clean lines that make sense. And never be ashamed to use reference. We can't draw all this stuff out of our head. It's impossible. I mean, now I can draw a lot of cartoons and anime characters or even superheroes out of my head because I've, spent my years drawing them. But when you're working on an animation production, you definitely want to use the character sheet as reference. So typically you would use this little box in Clip Studio Paint and keep it open for reference to, okay, that's the way his mouth is, or hey, he has a blemish here, or hey, he has an extra eye here, or his, certain things that belong where it's supposed to belong. There's nothing worse than submitting a completed cell or low, and they're like, whoa, whoa, this doesn't even look like our character. So stay on production, please. And a lot of the times, the anime production will supply you with the character designs. And if not, they would probably have somebody in-house do it for you, or probably if you are talented enough, you can do your own character designs. And that was, hair is always pretty cool to me. I always love the texture of hair. It's organic. Versus like a texture as far as metal, or it's not flat, so it's fun to do with a flick of a wrist. Just making sure my neckline is where it needs to be at for his throat. Checking my colors. I believe I'm adding in the red. Added another cell, layered it red so I can approach the, I wouldn't say tattoos, but the indentations on his face and on his body. And I have the camera sped up a couple seconds so I don't animate or draw that fast. If you guys do want the project regular speed, just let me know. I believe I'll have a link at the bottom, regular speed on how normal speed, what I'm doing. You won't have the audio voice, but you have the music in the background if you just want to zoom in and watch me work slow. I believe this piece took, give or take, 30 minutes to do. Adding all the cool lines, making sure the shapes bend with the arm and the chest. And I add a different color so I wouldn't get confused from the background and the foreground color. Going back and adding more shape and design to the hand. Zooming in, zooming out, making sure it looks proportionate. Taking a look. Torso. All right, here comes the fun part. Start doing our Genga. Use my wand tool or my lancer tool, lasso tool as they call it. Figure out where I want my shades. I'm adding a nice cool blue. May change, so don't get too concentrated on the color. But typically in anime, blue is for shade. Attention to detail, adding in shade in his eyes. Some of his neck. Changing the color for skin tone. Going darker and lighter. Adding in the shapes in this arm. His torso, six pack, go down his arm. fingers. Just see if everything makes sense. I just went ahead and touched the purple for black. Purple usually refers to black in anime. I went ahead and went over to red so I can add the tattoos. Still using my lasso tool. Cutting out my shapes. Remember, this is just the rough Genghis phase. Tells us where we want the colors to go at. It's an important stage, but just imagine if he was drawing on pencil and paper. This is where they got the color pencils out. They would have did the blues and the yellows and the purples. And they would have scanned it in the computer, and then they'd be like, then they would have sent it to the cleanup artist. So it's looking good. Adding some small corrections. All right. Good job, good job. This is the Ginga phase. So you completed part 3.